Hey, it's Allie, and I'm talking to you about the final research paper for the History of Television class, and I'm focusing on part two, finding sources. And for some students in this class, this is going to be the easiest part of the whole assignment. What you're going to be doing is compiling a list of at least four academic sources in MLA style, and they'll end up being the work cited for your paper itself. So there's some students who know exactly what I mean when I say that, and they've already written quite a few research papers in their life, and that's probably all the information that they need. However, I'm very aware that this is sometimes the very first research paper that people are writing at the college level, and that is a completely different situation, and that's why we're spending this amount of time on finding sources and having it due as early as week 6. So, what I want you to do is, first of all, if this is new to you, you don't know what MLA style, that's okay. I'm going to show you a physical handbook right now. I'm just going to hold it up to my iPad here. And I also have, you don't have to go buy this, don't worry about that. I have a link to the Purdue OWL MLA handbook, and that's one of the better sites where you can find this information entirely online. And so in this online class, I try to give us as much of that as we can. Also, Columbia College Library is super accessible online. You can ask a librarian, and if you're having trouble with sources, they've helped students with this assignment many times. They will help you out right away. Usually when I write the Ask a Librarian chat off the Columbia College Library page on the website, they write back within minutes. It's pretty amazing, and they're always friendly and helpful. And so if you're having trouble with sources, or you're not sure if the sources that you have are academic or not, that's a place to turn. Another place is there's this assignment guideline sheet that I have, the final paper assignment sheet that's posted on Canvas goes into this a little bit more in depth. But one of the things that I say is stay away from online sources. Now, I don't mean that I don't want you to find things online and that you have to go out in person on our online class. It's just like that book I just showed you. So I have a physical copy in my house here, but we're going to link to a version of that online. So most academic books, and that's what we're looking for, an academic book, like I've got some on my library bookshelf right here. There's I Wear the Black Hat by Chuck Klosterman. If you were doing a paper on the anti-hero, that might be an academic book you were looking for. You can also find that book in an internet version. You wouldn't even have to find a physical copy. I'm just kind of old school and like physical copies of things, but I read ebooks. I don't always have every article that I use in my own papers. I don't always have a physical copy. But most academic journals, most academic books will have a physical component somewhere. And that's the difference between what I mean by internet-only sources and academic sources. And you can absolutely find academic sources that are internet only. But as a guideline, especially for students who this type of research is new to, the reason that I say stay away from internet only sources is it can kind of be a little hard to tell right away. What is this? Where is it coming from? And blog posts, no matter how smart the people are, no matter how cool their ideas are, and no matter how much it backs up your point in your paper, are just not academic in nature. So those kinds of internet sources are widely available. Popular press as well. There's some really interesting articles. I'm sometimes surprised by how amazing, say, a publication like Rolling Stone is about television or the media. But that's not an academic article. It's a popular publication, and that goes the same with newspapers. So even New York Times or other newspapers like that. Now, you might find a source that's not academic that's absolutely perfect for your paper, and by all means use those as extra sources. However, to meet the requirements of this 7 to 10 page paper, you have to find 4 academic sources and list them to me in proper MLA style for part 2 of the research paper, and ultimately in the 7 to 10 page paper itself, you're going to end up using 3 of those 4 academic sources. In addition to that, you're more than welcome to use as many extra sources as you want. Also, our textbook, we have a pretty cool textbook in our class here, and I could go grab it. It's right over there on the shelf, but I don't have it ready. That's a good source, but that's a way to connect to class materials in this assignment. It's not going to count as an academic source where you go out and find it yourself. So I just want to be really clear about that. So our textbook, again, if you want to start referring to that, that can be used as an additional source. And one of the requirements of the paper itself, the draft and the final, will be to connect to class materials, and that will be a way to do it. But just to be really, really clear, you have to find 3 academic sources must be used in the final paper itself, and for this part 2 of the final paper assignment, 4 must be found and listed in proper MLA style. So again, if that MLA style is something that you do not know what it is, and trust me, I don't remember all of the details. They have different editions of it and everything. So if I'm writing my own paper, I'll go look it up too on the Purdue OWL or check it out here in my physical copy of the handbook. But make sure to link to that. It's on our course Canvas page. I have it easily available. And there's also ways on the Columbia College library website where it'll compile it for you for the different styles. And again, ours is MLA style, and the reason that we use that Modern Language Association style is because that's the one that's most widely used in the humanities and the arts and art history and media studies, like television of history is part of that. It also will prepare you for other classes if this is one of your first research papers that you're writing. When you hand in any paper that's asked for, unless it's in the sciences, they sometimes have a different one, you'll be able to hand it in MLA style, and your paper will come off looking really presentable and professional. So again, this is due at the end of week 6. If you have any questions, if this is difficult for you, don't panic. You can call me, send me an email, do a message. We can meet and do a virtual meeting if you need to. And the Columbia College librarians are so ready to help with this assignment. So don't get worried about it. Go do your best, and we'll be able to get you ready for part 3, the draft.